Hi, my name is Hustis, and here's the new Byte about Google Stadia. I got this thing now for the past 2 days, played around a little bit with it, and I personally think Google Stadia is kinda cool, just it's not there yet. And there could be probably every review ever about Google Stadia right now, but this is my opinion, so if you want to hear them, stay around after the intro. Alright, as it happens, of course, Google Stadia is a sort of worldwide phenomenon right now, at least in the countries where it is available, but of course everyone else is still interested in seeing how it turns out if it may come to their country in the future. And me here in Germany with a kind of good internet connection, it's kind of good. It's really good. There's just so many issues around Google Stadia that make me think it's just not worth it getting into it right now, and probably still not when the free version launches next year. Let's go into how it plays right now, especially with the controller, and of course, what I think about it. So first, what do you get in the package, of course? This one, specifically, if you get the Founders Edition, you get the very cool, actually, Google Stadia controller, which has a few nice features. It has an instant, snapshot button for a video screenshot. And it also, if you hold it for a few seconds, takes the last 30 seconds of your stream and converts it, of course, into video. This can be viewed on your phone, but here's the first big thing that also annoys me already. You can't, flip your phone over with the Google Stadia app, which is the app that you need, of course, to view your things. You can't buy games outside of this Google Stadia app. And if you want to play actually Google Stadia on your phone, you can only do so right now on Google Pixel 2 up to Google Pixel 4 and no other phone. So it launches already with a very, very small margin of devices where you can play it on. And of course, you can play it, of course, on any TV and any other display that you want with this Google Chromecast Ultra. I get the reflection right, there we go. It is quite cool, and paying 129 euros for the controller, the Chromecast, Google Stadia Pro for 3 months, which includes already 2 games at launch that are in it for free. You just have to claim them, being Destiny 2 and Samurai Showdown. On its own, not too bad. A Google Chromecast Ultra, kinda expensive. A controller that you can also use on PC, just as a general controller, not too bad as a price for. And going into the controller just in a second a bit further, I still want to continue, of course, the topic about the service that Stadia provides right now. If you have Google Stadia Pro, you basically still don't own any games. It could be, considered like PlayStation Plus, for example, which allows you to play online with other people since a while, and it gives you a few games for free. It's a practice that they have taken over from Xbox a few years ago with the new generation of consoles, which is going to end next year. My God, we've been doing this for a while, I guess. And Google Stadia, takes the same approach. It could potentially be, if you're joining Google Stadia, which costs €10 a month, over a year, maybe there is a good catalog of games that you could, claim yourself together by just being around. But yeah, you would pay 120 euros just for that to be sticking around for a whole year. There's no annual subscription yet, at least, and you still have to go in every month to claim that game, and you don't know if it's a good game even. And here's the opposition to that: Project X Cloud by Microsoft. The originators of paying for online features, such as playing together, talking together, online save features. They actually turned the whole thing around in the last few years and made it actually so much more worth it paying 15 euros, for Xbox Game Pass Premium, which also includes the Game Pass, online gold features, and in the future also probably a link to xCloud. And with Game Pass alone, you can play over 200 titles right off the gate on Xbox, and if xCloud comes around, probably all of these titles are also already included into xCloud. What I really want from Google Stadia is more service, at least. They said they're gonna launch with cool things, just like the Google Assistant, which is here in the Zone button. There's a microphone on the back end here, which makes this also like a smart microphone. Hey, turn up your devices. And of course, it's on what they get. Because Google Stadia launches basically just with the feature to play games on your Chromecast, and only with your Chromecast and this controller. If you want to play it, of course, on a PC, you have to use your Chrome browser, which, okay, I get, but you have to use that controller here and use it via USB connection. The whole idea of this controller is that the controller directly connects via Wi-Fi to the servers of Google and, does not go through the whole PC, OS layer, network layer of the PC and so on. Then additional, lag will be actually diminished by the whole thing connecting directly to the servers. It's not there yet. At launch, if you want to play on a PC, you still have to use a USB connection, and that of course will introduce lag again. And you really notice that. If this controller plays directly via Wi-Fi to the Google servers, the lag is so much better. I would consider it acceptable even. But if you have it connected via USB cable, because you want to play it on your PC, your laptop, maybe even your MacBook, you still have that lag. And that's kind of disappointing. I would have hoped that at least at launch, also if you want to play through a Chrome browser, this would connect directly. But as it is, another service that's not there yet at launch. So what do we have right now? We don't have any games except for Destiny and Samurai Showdown. You have to pay for many other games, of course, and you will never own them. If Stadia shuts down, there's no way how you can still continue playing it because, as the president of Google says for Stadia, ownership is overrated. I paraphrased him there, but basically that's what he said back then. Other than that, the base premise, of course, of Stadia is really cool and it's there. I went and bought initially next to Destiny 2 and Samurai Showdown, Metro Exodus. I haven't played that yet. Wasn't intended on playing it via Epic. And for just 20 euros, I was thinking, yeah, 20 euros, that's a good price to play it, even on Google Stadia. And again, using the best setup, playing via the Google Chromecast Ultra and the Google Stadia controller, I had a really good time. This Chromecast went quite hot after an hour, and I didn't intend to play any more longer, but I would be wondering if I continue to play, if this would actually damage the hardware or if it would cool down or lower the resolution. That's something that I still have to investigate later on. Other than that, 4K resolution is cool, HDR is cool, of course. And I personally, when I connected the Chromecast Ultra via its power adapter with my LAN network to my router directly, it was really awesome. There was no stuttering, frame rate didn't drop really, and the resolution, of course, because it's a streaming service, did also not dip. When I switch over to a Wi-Fi connection or a power line adapter, meaning that my internet, my local area network, goes through the actual power lines in this house, there is some stuttering there. There's some lag, some resolution drops, of course, and it is bearable. It's not terrible, I would say, but it's definitely not good enough. Thanks to the controller, again, directly connecting via Wi-Fi, it's only the video stream that you see that's gonna make some issues. It's cool to see also if you record via the controller some video clip that the actual recording is done on the cloud end. And if you transfer that cloud recording over to your studio app, which it does automatically, it looks actually quite good. Of course, because the recording was done on the server end and will be sent through the Stadia app to you then on your phone, for example. Did I mention already that on the website itself, stadia.com? You won't see any of that. You won't be able to purchase games. You won't be able to see your recordings. You can't even set your resolution of the stream. You have to go through all of that with your phone. It's just ridiculous how much it doesn't work in a way that would make sense at launch. So in a way you could say, we're not just early adopters, we're early public testers for Google with an entrance fee of 129 euros. I have to say again, as an EU citizen, a German citizen here, it was quite easy to get one. Usually sometimes when I order technology from the US, it goes through a lengthy process, I have to pay extra taxes. All of that, thankfully, was done already by Google. I really only had to pay that 129 for a simple shirt, for example, that I bought on the Bungie store because it was, the end of the year thing. That thing cost me 30 euros, I think. And I had to pay another 6 euros here, and it went through postage because of taxes. So it's good. At least that one thing works really well. If you buy your things, the Google Stadia package, if you buy games through Google Stadia, works really fine. You have to use a credit card. There's no other payment option out there right now. But if you are able to pay for it, you actually get what you want. Games, for example, as was promised, of course, don't need an installment. You just pay for them. It goes through the, of course, process. And once it's accepted, you'll immediately see a pop-up in your app, not just in your app, but also in your Chromecast or in your web browser. And you can immediately click on it, start the game, and it launches. This is the one thing where I really say Google Stadia is really cool. The second cool thing is this controller, which works really well. For example, also in situations where the Wi-Fi isn't perfect. I of course used the Chromecast Ultra on my big 4K TV, but the actual later thing that I used it for was in my bedroom. Because in my living room there's all these consoles, of course, where I can play games locally with no delay and of course with a really crisp resolution. But also of course with the disadvantage of having, the console there. It has fans spinning, it's kind of loud at times, especially if a PlayStation 4 Pro, like I played on Death Stranding in the last few weeks. It can be quite annoying when the fans spin up. This thing has no fans. It does get hot. I don't know if it will break after some time, but it's definitely quiet. And for the size that it is, you can basically install it everywhere. And that is a really cool thing, next to just being able to buy a game and immediately play it. So yeah, it is kind of cool. I can't say much about, the quality of the render output. I'm not an expert on that. What I heard mostly is that these games have some console standard resolutions. When I played Destiny 2, it felt like it had 60 FPS on a 1080p monitor, which is very nice, something that we can't get on consoles right now and only on PC. And again, if you use a wired connection directly from the router to the power adapter of this Chromecast Ultra, it is really a smooth experience. Granted, of course, you have a good enough internet connection. Controller itself is very nice in your hands. I only wondered, the travel distance of these bumpers is kind of short, and in games like Metro Exodus, I shot just on accident because I very slightly tapped this bumper here. I was thinking, why did I shoot? Didn't intend to do that. Well, that really fits nice. I personally like the centralized control sticks here, and the whole setup process, of course, just as a last thing, is also very easy. Just download the Google Stadia app, get the Google Home app for the Chromecast setup and everything, and basically just 2 apps to have it on. And even though I have an iPhone 11 here with iOS, it still worked, no problems. But around this whole impressions and basically really up, I kind of hope that Google Stadia gets better and better. I don't need the Google Assistant. Basically, I want to actually put, something on this microphone hole here so it doesn't work. But other than that, I would hope that for example, play sessions feature will come very soon, that we can stream directly from Stadia to our YouTube channel right here on the new Byte, which would be very cool. And of course, other features that make the service so much better. Like for example, the controller working also if I play through the Chrome web browser. I still don't get why this isn't there at launch. But yet again, this isn't really a launch. This is more like a very expensive public test. And with that, I'll let you go. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, of course. And if you haven't done it yet, subscribe and don't miss our next videos. What I have to do very soon also is about this chair, something nice in the background, and of course, my final review of Death Stranding, which hopefully I'll finish next weekend. So until then, have a nice day and talk to you soon.